In today's video, we're going to take a dive into the October 2025 housing market for Cedar City, Utah and St. George, Utah to give you an idea of what is currently happening in these two areas as far as the housing market goes. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are looking to buy or sell here in Southern Utah, I would love to help you out with that. Please feel free to call, text, or email anytime, and that contact information is down below in the description. Now, I say October because it is currently October 1st, 2025 that I am recording this. That means we are going to take a look at September year over year for the last 10 years. I have pulled all the complete data through the end of September. I have to wait until October 1st to do that, so you are getting the most up-to-date information. Now I've dropped us into some slides to give you a visual of what the last 10 years looks like in Southern Utah. We're going to start with Cedar City, Utah first, then we will jump over, take a look at St. George, Utah, and we'll kind of see what's going to happen for buyers and sellers in this area. Now I have Cedar City pulled up first. We've got our new listings in blue, our active listings in red, pending in purple, and sold in blue. Our active listings here in red, that means these homes are currently available for sale for you to check out. We have 332 active residential listings here in Cedar City. You can see just by looking at this chart year over year in September, we are the highest we have been in the last 10 years. We shot up quite a bit from 2024 when we had 249 listings all the way up to 332. So that is a big jump for us. Before that, we were sitting pretty steady with the years previously when we don't take into these pandemic years when things went a little bit crazy. But this year, our inventory has shot up. Now, when we look at that compared to new listings in blue here is everything that came to the market in the month of September. We currently have 102 listings in 2025. In 2024, we had 101. Those are the two highest years in new listings in the last 10 years. So we really don't look that different for new listings from last year. That means that a lot of our homes on the market are homes that have been sitting on the market. We'll take a look at days on market, median and average days on market, so you can see how long it is taking our inventory to currently turn over. But as far as new listings go, those have definitely been higher the last few years. Now, pending listings, that's here in purple. We're up to 78. That's pretty comparable to what it was pre-pandemic. During the pandemic years, we saw a drop in our pending during the month of September in 2022 and 2023. We went up to 69 pending in 2024, pretty comparable to what it's been in years past. Same thing in 2025, still not the highest we've been there. We had 84 in 2020 pending. We currently have 78 pending. That means our market is still continuing to turn over and to sell homes just like it has in the past. Now we had 71 sold homes or closed homes. Those are homes that completed escrow. They closed in the month of September. We had 71. Last year we had 74. Year before that we had 85. We're really sitting pretty similar to what we have before, other than in 2020 we had 120. So you can see it's really our active listings, those that have been sitting on the market, that has pushed our inventory up. Now this does affect our days on market. I'm going to show you the median days on market here in blue, the average days on market here in red. Median is right in the middle. That means half the homes sold in a shorter amount of time than this, half the homes sold in a longer amount of time than this. I think median's a good indicator because it's right in the middle of all the homes that sold. We're sitting at about 42 days on market when we're looking at the median, and we're sitting at 65 days on market when we are looking at the average. Of course, neither one of these are as high as they have been in the past. Our peak for average in the last 10 years was at 94 days, and for the median in the last 10 years was at 57 days. So both of these are still looking pretty good. Inventory is turning over. You are going to see a change though in our months inventory and our median sales price when we get a little bit further into these slides. As far as St. George goes, same thing, new in blue, active in red, pending in purple, sold in green. St. George also has active listings up higher than they have been in the last 10 years. We currently have 725 active listings in St. George. Our new listings have actually gone down the last few years. We are at 247 new listings. That is the lowest it has been since 2016. pretty comparable to 2017, just a few shy of that, but roughly on the same trajectory here, except for in 2019. Our pending listings here in purple, we're currently at 168, very similar to the last few years, very similar to the years prior to 2020. So we're looking good as far as our pending sales in the month of September for St. George. Same thing with our closed sales. Those have been lower the last 4 years. So from 2022 to 2025, right now we're currently at 139. Last year, 133. Year before that, 147. Year before that, 145. Last 4 years, we have been closing less in St. George than we were the years prior to that. Just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. As far as days on market, we have our average days on market at 80 for St. George. That's pretty comparable to what it was in 2016 at 81 days on market. Average, remember, that's going to take in the outlier homes, those homes that were sitting on the market for quite a long time. Those do happen when they're in very niche markets, when they're at a super high price point, or when the home is just overpriced. Now, as far as median days on market, that's the highest we have seen in the last 10 years, definitely. You can see that here. Right now, we are at 57 days on market. That means homes are sitting on the market for almost 2 months before they are turning over. Right in the middle there, half of them did go quicker than that, half of them took longer than that. There are some things to consider here. We will talk about them later in the slides, but it gives you an idea of where these are sitting. Last year, we were at 39 days on market in St. George. So we went from just over a month to almost 2 months sitting on the market. So a big change in what we saw last year in 2024 to what we are seeing now in 2025. Now, I want to talk about the absorption rate because this is really important. This is our month's inventory. This is how long homes are sitting on the month before they sell or before they go into contract. The month's inventory is good for us to look at because it tells us how healthy our market is and whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. So for example, if we have less than 6 months inventory on the market, it's typically seen as a seller's market and we will see those homes appreciate. Usually if we have between 6 and 7 months inventory on the market, then home prices will only appreciate with inflation. But if we have more than a 7-month supply, it's usually a buyer's market and we may see those home prices come down. Right now for us in Cedar City, we have jumped up to a 5.03 month supply. We did see it a little bit higher than that in 2016 at 5.22 months supply, but this is much higher than we saw it back in 2024 at 3.81 months supply. St. George, pretty similar to what it was last year. We're at 4.2 months supply. Last year, exactly 4.24 months supply. So although both of these look like they are in a seller's market, if sellers are not pricing their home correctly, it is going to feel like a buyer's market because those buyers know what is going on in the market. Buyers are looking at the inventory, they're knowing how long these homes are sitting, and if that home is sitting too long, they know they have negotiating power. So it is only a seller's market if you price the home correctly right out the gate. And we're going to talk about that. Before we do though, I want to take a look at our median sales price and our average sales price for Cedar City. Median is here in blue, average is here in red. Again, median is right in the middle. So half the homes sold for less than that, half the homes sold for more than that. Average considers those outliers, meaning you add up all the homes that sold that month, divide it by that number, and you take that value. So it could be skewed if you had a home that was much lower or if you had a home that was much higher. I personally like to look at the median sales price just because it's right in the middle. This year, 2025, we were sitting at a $380,000 median sales price. We had a pretty big drop from last year. Last year, we were at $442,000. But notice from 2023 to 2024, we had a huge increase here. So in 2023, we were at $340,000. 2024, $442,000, 2025, $380,000. So if we hadn't had that big jump, there would still be a trajectory up here. We just had a really big leap in September last year of 2024. And if I'm remembering correctly, I feel like the mortgage interest rates were quite a bit lower in September last year. Don't quote me on that though, I'm gonna have to check it. Now, same thing with average. The average home price tends to be higher than the median. You can see that for the last 10 years. However, it follows the same course or same path. Right now, it's $424,638 for the average sales price in Cedar City, but that is down from last year at just over $477,000. Now for St. George, we have the median in green, we have the average again in red. St. George saw a big dip in the average sales price from 2022 to 2023. We have gone back up in the average sales price in St. George. It kind of recovered from 22 to 24 and then has gone upwards this year. As far as the median sales price, St. George didn't really see a drop at all over the last 10 years in the median sales price. However, it stayed pretty steady from 2022 to 2023 with a $3,000 increase. Then it jumped from $495,000 to $510,000. This year we're sitting at $517,000. So some growth, but a small amount of growth, better than going down. Now, the top two things that home buyers say they are looking for right now are going to be lower home prices and lower mortgage rates. Lower home prices by 63% of buyers, lower mortgage rates by 50% of buyers. Of course, that's what we all want when we are buying a home. Now, as far as those mortgage interest rates go, this is dating back to May 1st of 2025. You can see that the 30-year fixed mortgage interest rate is on a downward trend. We're sitting in the low 6% right now. So it is heading the right direction. You can see some of the projections from some well-known sources for the next year. We just finished up Q3 2025 as of yesterday, so today, October 1st. Now this is taking the average of all three, so average of Fannie Mae, MBA, and Wells Fargo. They projected it would be at 6.68%. I believe it's closer to 6.3. We'll check that out in a moment. And then in Q4, 6.55, Q1, 6.47, and Q2 next year at 6.4. Right now, we're sitting a little bit lower, so it's definitely a good time to talk with your lender, see if it's a good time for you to buy financially. Of course, you want to look at your debt to income ratio. You want to look at your income. You want to make sure that it works for you. But watching these mortgage interest rates, making sure you've had that conversation with your lender and you're ready to go when these rates hit a good price point, the homes hit a good price point, you want to be able to hit the ground running because a lot of other people are going to be coming back at the same time. Now, as far as lower home prices go, a lot of that has to do with the inventory going up. You saw in Cedar City, our inventory went up quite a bit. We're over 5 months supply right now. St. George held steady to last year, but this kind of gives a national look as far as how the inventory has grown from August 2019 to August 2025. Darker blue shows a larger increase in that inventory. Lighter blue will show a decrease in that inventory. So lighter blue is going to be closer to a seller's market. Darker blue is going to be closer to a buyer's market. Utah as a whole increased in inventory about 21.5%. Of course, when you look at our absorption rate, you can see Cedar City definitely went up in inventory. St. George held pretty steady to last year, but that inventory is still up higher than it was previous years. Now, having that increase in inventory is what really helps the buyers because it gives them an option and it makes things a lot more competitive for sellers versus buyers. You'll also see the asking price has pretty much been stagnant for the last 3 years since March of 2022. It hasn't fluctuated too much. Of course, this is the median list price on homes for the nation. It's going to vary based on where you are. But one thing I want to bring to your attention, what I have seen over the last 3 years is it has taken sellers a long time to realize that they cannot sell their home what they could sell it for 3 years ago. They feel like they've lost all this equity and lost all this money because they just can't list it there. It will continue to sit. It's understanding the market, realizing where the market is right now. That money was never in your pocket. So changing your mindset to realize the place that we are actually in right now. So if you have your home listed or if you're getting ready to list your home, here are 4 signs your price may be too high for your home. First one, you're not getting many showings. If you're not getting showings, that home price is too high. Second one, maybe you're getting showings, but you're not getting any offers or you're getting super lowball offers. That means your home is likely priced too high. Third one, you're getting showings, but you're getting a lot of negative feedback. People will give negative feedback if that price does not match that home. If they go through a home and the price matches the home, they're not going to give that feedback. They're going to say, hey, this is a pretty good deal. I can come in, I can fix this up, but I need it for the right price. And then the fourth one, if your home's sitting on the market longer than the average days on market for the area and for your home or your comparable price point, it's priced too high. So if any of that sounds familiar, waiting on the market, that's not going to fix it. The only thing that's going to fix it is adjusting your price. So you either adjust the price to match what the market is telling you, or you take it off the market and try again later when things adjust. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just how it is. Now, real quick, I did want to show you where the current 30-year fixed mortgage interest rates are. This is on the Freddie Mac's website. Of course, they last updated it on September 2025. It is now October 1st as of this recording. It's sitting right around 6.3%. Yours could be higher than that. It could be lower than that. You want to get with a lender and check it out. There are many variables that come into play there: credit score, debt to income ratio, all of that fun stuff. But I did want to give you an idea of where it is showing that 30-year fixed mortgage interest rate. Of course, 15-year, that's quite a bit lower at 5.49%. Now, I know I speed through that pretty quickly. I try not to keep you here too long, but I really want to make sure that you understand the takeaways here. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, it's important to understand the market, to work with somebody that is in it every single day. It's also important to understand that this is data for St. George as a whole and for Cedar City as a whole. This data could completely change depending on the home you are looking to buy or sell. So we definitely want to have that conversation and make sure that you fully understand where the comparables are on your home that you are looking to sell, or where the comparables are on a home that you are interested in buying. However, it's definitely important for you to understand the market as a whole, because it helps you see how healthy it is here in Southern Utah. Now, again, if you're a buyer and you're looking to buy, the time is right when it's right for you. Trying to time the market never really works out great. You want to make sure you time it for your life. Now, if you're trying to sell your home, make sure you are having that conversation with either me or another realtor of your choice. Obviously, I prefer it be me, but make sure you are taking that advice, you are paying attention to the data, and you are presenting your home in the best light that you possibly can. Now, if you would like to buy or sell here in Southern Utah, my name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. I really would love to help you out with that, so please don't hesitate to reach out. I promise you I will respond. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.